What is going on, guys? This is the Walkthrough King, and yesterday on the Infinite Warfare subreddit and Call of Duty subreddit, a user named Convery posted a bunch of leaked information about Infinite Warfare. Usually with leaks, the information should be taken with a grain of salt, as you don't know if it's going to be true or false, and it's really hard to provide proof with these leaks, as normally they come from QA testing or it's just made up user information. But these leaks came from the user that did post a lot of information about Black Ops 3 before release that did become true, so this might be a lot more reputable than any other leak that we've seen so far. Anyways, I will link the articles in the description, and I also will go through and just skim through the articles and just talk about information in them. So the first part of the article is titled Aliens, and it talks about a possible Aliens game mode that will be coming into the game along with the Zombies game mode that has been talked about. Basically, it states that the alternate Aliens game mode will be with the cryptids that were in Ghosts will be similar to Black Ops 3's Nightmare mode. And for the Zombies game mode, it says that the Zombies game mode is going to use the same system as Black Ops 3 Zombies, so they will move and act the same. The setting is going to be in the 1980s, which we already know from what Infinity Ward has given out information-wise for Zombies. And there's a variety of maps that they say were in the QA testing, and one of them seemed to have been a remake of Black Ops Keener do Toten. And finally, they also said that there is another map, CP Rain, which they believe is similar to the Giant or Der Reese. And the maps, they say, are largely the same, but it has IW's spin on it, and how IW has their spin on it, they say, is like for getting perks, you'd place your hand on the machine rather than grabbing a drink for it, and just little changes up like that. Then there's also another game mode that they talk about named Ship Assault, and this is going to be the co-op mission that we've seen in the trailers where you fly the spaceship to assault an enemy destroyer. In the beta build that they have, they said that there was only one map, and that there is confusion surrounding this mode as the developers call it CP Ship Assault Aliens and have replaced the human enemies with cryptids. The missions are limited to 4 players and does not support matchmaking at this time, but it probably will in the future and just doesn't support it during their beta testing. They also say that time will tell if the cryptids make it into the final release or if they'll be DLC, so it is unsure if this is a DLC test map or if this is actually going to be in the core game at release. Then they talk about a third game mode called Base Building, and basically they hint that it's a defense game mode where you and 3 other players try to guard a objective, and you have these things called building blocks at your disposal. They listed the building blocks as wall, weapon depot, sniper tower, armor depot, anti-air, trophy system, lightning tower, turret, generator, accelerator, Medusa, and imp. They say the internal game mode is listed as Aliens, but like Assault, there's no official statement whether or not the cryptids are only in there for testing future content, or whether or not it'll be changed out with humans or whatnot in the future. In the beta, they say there was 2 maps for this game type, however the aforementioned CP Titan, but surprisingly also CP Range, which was first introduced as a zombie/horde map. So basically they think that all the game types will work on all the CP maps, which basically the CP maps are hinting at the zombie maps. And one of their experts said that their views on the base building will be how it'll be like the Black Ops 3 arcade mode. I'm not sure if it'll be like a top-down view of how you view things, but they said that it's going to be more like a tower defense style of game mode for the base building. They also are concerned that it's looking like there's a lack of dedicated servers for the game mode, but this again is because it's so early that it just may be a limitation of the beta. Then they also go on to list that there will be 31 consumable power-ups, 32 purchasable upgrades, 35 weapons for the zombie mode, which are mainly the multiplayer ones, 68 weapons for the alien mode, 14 of which are new in the rest of ports and variations of other weapons from Ghosts and MW3. Most of these weapons have fixed attachments. Then there will be 22 perks and 5 different special ammunition types, which will probably be the special ammunition types from Black Ops 3 Zombies, I'm assuming. That's basically all the information they talk about in part 1 of the article. Part Part 2 of the article deals with the multiplayer maps, and it sounds like there's a lot of map remakes. I'm not sure if either they just reused old maps for testing things while they worked on the new maps or whatnot, but it does sound like there's a lot of map remakes that are going to be coming in. One of the remakes that they talk about is Pipeline from COD 4, and then they also talk about a map that is going to test a 24-player mode, so that'll be pretty interesting, as the most players we've ever had in a Call of Duty game mode has been 18 in Ground War. The rest just goes on to talk about inspecting sound files and DLC suspicions. Part 3 of the article deals with game types, and there's going to be a lot of fan favorite game types supposedly returning. They do have a list of the game types with confirmed game types as well as unconfirmed game types that might be coming into the game. So for their list, free-for-all is going to be returning as normal, team deathmatch is going to be returning, search and destroy, sabotage might be returning but that's unconfirmed, domination will be returning, hardpoint, capture the flag, demolition, kill confirmed, team defender, reinforced, and then there's a few more unconfirmed game types of multi-team deathmatch, drop zone, team juggernaut. Then they have modified game types listed as gun game, infected, more unconfirmed game types of one in the chamber, mugger, a new game type of alien base building, alien ship assault that we talked about earlier, another unconfirmed game type of blitz, another normal game type returning as search and rescue, another unconfirmed game type BNTY, I'm not sure what that is, grind will be returning, and then a few more unconfirmed game types of cranked, hunted free for all, safeguard, assault, MP zom, lava, the new zombie horde mode, an unconfirmed zombie escape game mode, and then a new game type of frontline, not sure what that'll be, and then they also have uplink as returning. It goes on to say there is, however, some modifications to the game types, as the new engine has double jumping and wall running, but the ones that have received major changes are gun game and infected. Gun game is now limited to 10 minutes and players are downranked for friendly fire since gun game is free for all. This means suicide. Infected, however, is limited to 2.5 minutes and the survivors are equipped with a spaz shotgun, a trip mine, and concussion grenades, and the super phase shift, not sure what that is. The infected start with a knife and a throwing knife and a tactical insertion beacon, as well as the super reaper. I'm assuming that's going to be like the Ripper or something else from Black Ops 3. It goes on to say that there will be a special focus on certain days of the week, where Fridays and Saturdays will have special variations called like Friday Night Fights. Not sure what that'll be, but that pretty much wraps up everything talked about in Part 3. Part 4 of the article leak goes on to talk about loot variations. Basically, they say there will be supply drops returning, and it will be more like the Advanced Warfare system for weapons, where how weapons will have variations of each one. It goes on to list that there are rare, legendaries, and epics, but the beta testers did not have access to the epic variations. Then there will also be common variations as well. The list of weapons that they did bring in were the M200 rare, the M200 legendary variant, a LMG turret rare, as well as the legendary variant, a rare and legendary variant of the M8 Garand, a SD FAR weapon, which has a legendary variant. Then there's a Ripper with a common, rare, and legendary. Then there's a KB Sniper, which is titled as Ghillie, and then there's a desert variation. Then there's a rare and legendary variant of a Devastator. Not really sure what most of those weapons will be or look like, but it does kind of suck that they are bringing back the supply drop system, and it basically sounds like it's going to be like Infinite Warfare's, where if they release DLC weapons, you're going to have to get a variation of it to unlock the base weapon. Not really sure how all it's going to play out, as there's really not a lot of information of this, or information on how you can earn this legitimately in the game without spending money, or if this will be based off of spending money, so take all of this with a grain of salt. But basically, this article just sums up that there will be a supply drop type system returning with weapon variants. Part 5 of the article goes on to talk about multiplayer loadouts. They do say that there will be specialists returning, but they'll be different from what Black Ops 3's system is. And basically, it'll allow the player to select their special weapon of choice, while the specialist provides a perk related to the archetype that fits the player. For example, there will be like a sniper, medic, assassin, and all of them will have their unique perks. There's also a power-up system which lets you use special equipment instead of your base equipment, such as using like a power Cyro grenade rather than your frag grenade, it says. They do say that it's unclear on whether or not you charge them up in-game through kills, or if you buy a charge that will last across games like Dual XP does. They do say that there is a wide range of customization to the characters though, so you'll be able to fit things that fit your playstyle just right. Then it also goes on to talk about kill streaks and the suspected kill streak so far. There's a UAV, an airdrop, a drone drop, which is similar to RAP's counter UAV, ball drone backup, which is similar to the BO2's AGR drone with a question mark, sentry shock, probably BO2's Guardian, they say. Orbital deployment, which seems to function like BO3's mothership. Thor, which they say is basically an ion cannon. Precision airstrike, which they say sounds like a Predator drone. A jammer, a jackal, which is basically a spaceship you fly in one of the co-op missions. Then there's a mini jackal, a nuke, spider bot, directional UAV, which sounds like the orbital VSAT, bombardment, which is basically like a stealth bomber, remote C8, which is basically going to be like the HCXD or the RCXD, and then there's the last thing that they list, which is Venom, which is, there's no comments on that, so I'm not sure what that is. And for part 6 of the article, which is the last part that has been released so far, deals with the AI and the environments. Basically, they say the bots and the players are going to announce where the enemies are spotted, more like Ghosts multiplayer, where if you go around and you see a player, well, you don't see the player, but your character sees the player, they'll call out like, hey, he's over here by the car. They say that this is going to be in the game with a huge improvement over Ghost, so it's going to be a lot more specific to locations. They have a few points where it's like garage blue, garage lower, garage upper, garage parking, so that'll be useful. Then the last part of the article talks about gestures. Basically, they say that there's going to be gestures like how Black Ops 3 had them, and there's going to be a lot of winning taunts and poses. Then they also go on to say that there is even challenges to perform these in-game, so they seem to be an integral part of the Infinity Ward's commitment to dynamic content. It's also very possible that we'll see new gestures and loot drops similar to how Overwatch does it. And that basically wraps up everything talked about in the leaks. I didn't go through and say every single thing that was in there, but again, I'll have it linked in the description so you can go out and check out everything. I will be making a video on my thoughts on the so far information on Infinite Warfare, as well as the actually released information coming directly from the Call of Duty developers. I would have done it in this video, but this video has been really long so far, so I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this information. If there is more information released like this, I will be covering it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm the Walkthrough King, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.